Okay. Wow. It's so good to be back here. Hello, everyone. If you're joining me, please say hello if you're live with me. And please say hello to me. Hello, everyone. Such a beautiful afternoon. Yes, we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. And hooray, it's Friday again. If you're joining me for the first time, my name is Kiki, and I'm the founder of Joshuzami and the lead coach of Parenting Wholesome Men Academy. Hello, everyone. Can you imagine? Did you notice that I said hello? So I said hello and hi together there, right? But hooray, I'm super excited to be here. I think it's still very clear that I am. Oh, hi, Jolushes song. I won't say who that is. Hello. And thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if it's still very obvious that I'm still recovering from Saturday, even though it's almost a week already. But welcome and thank you so much for joining me. Today, we're just going to be reviewing and talking about intentionality in fathers. And to be honest, I saw another level of intentionality on Saturday when we hosted fathers and their sons at the 10th anniversary of the Dad and I dinner. 10 years of doing this. What I saw on Saturday was another level. And there are a few lessons I learned from the room, which is what I am going to be going through. Number one on my list is engagements, engaging our sons. So on Saturday, when the host, the MC started, he kind of asked the boys to do something. And guess what? They were all very quiet, not really engaging, not responding. And he threw something in. And as soon as he threw that in, the boy's response blew my mind. Guess what he did? He threw in an element of competition. And you would see the competitiveness in these boys and men come to life. So it was something as simple as what he said: if I say this, respond by saying this. And a lot of the boys and the men, they did not respond. And as soon as he said, okay, he threw in a competition and said, I think this table against that table and all of that. And the room just went boom. And that what I learned from that is, I know a lot of us don't like saying boys will be boys, men will be men, but the truth of the matter is boys are wired differently from us women. For a woman, most likely something, just train a bit of fun and, talk about children, talk about something, and the room will come alive. But for these guys, it was something competitive and the room came alive. So if you're thinking of a way to engage your boys, that might be a tip in the house. Throw in competition to say, okay, if you do this, let's see who will do this first, or let's see who will get this first. And then there will be that boom in your home. Another thing that I saw in the room was the eagerness for these boys to connect and celebrate their fathers. And, it's just so amazing how a lot of these boys, they watch you, dad. So maybe they don't say it often, how thankful, how grateful they are for you, or see the things you do for them. But trust me, they're watching and they're seeing. I remember when we were giving out the awards, a boy came to me and said, I want to celebrate my dad in my own way. And I was like, oh, really? And when the mic was given to this boy, he obviously nominated his father, and he knew, I kind of hinted him that your father would be given this award, but the father had no clue, right? And when the mic was given to this boy, he had his speech ready to celebrate his father. So guys, dad, your boys see you. Now, something happened in my own home yesterday. I know my husband is listening to this, but it's the truth, right? We gave the boys instructions and something about us praying together this morning and everything. And the boys, they were dragging their feet in sending in their own prayer points and requests. And by the time they sent in the prayer points and the request, Dad had sent in the prayer points for the whole family, right? So when the boys sent in their own, I was collating. I didn't even have anything to add to it because Dad had sent in everything that we know each person is trusting God for in the home. So this afternoon, one of the boys said, "Oh, Mom, sorry, I'm sorry, I sent in my own whatever late." And he said, "I hope it was still on time." I said, "Well, the truth of the matter is, yes, but Dad sent his own before 12 noon yesterday for me to collate, and everything that every other person sent in, Dad had covered. So there was no even need for even me, to send in anything anymore." But what I'm trying, and then the boy, I said, "So what it means is Dad might be quiet, it might not get into our conversations all the time, but this just proves to me that he sees and he is paying attention even in the corner where he sits quietly. He sees and is taking in everything that is going on around the house." And then my older son said, "Oh, I know that is a silent listener and a silent watcher." So, and it was like, well, I'm not surprised about that. Why did I tell the story? As much as you, Dad, you're watching, these boys are also watching. They're also learning from you. They celebrate and appreciate, even in your silent way of watching out and taking care of them. Yes, you're waiting eagerly for the Nigerian episode. We're coming to Nigeria this year by God's grace. So get ready for us. So that is one of the things I learned in the room, that these boys are actually watching and they're paying attention. Another thing I loved that happened in the room is how fathers who are intentional encourage and boost their children's or their sons' confidence. Now, one of the things that also happened in the room was an activity that they said fathers and sons should get into, which is the activity of look into your father's eyes and tell him, "Dad, I love you because." Now, a lot of us, some people don't say "I love you" a lot in their homes, and some of us do, right? But taking it to the next level of saying, "Dad, I love you because," and then you tell your dad why you love him, right? And a few of the boys struggled in the room, but seeing how the fathers reassured the boys and made them feel confident to think. A father was saying to the son, "It's okay, take your time, think, no pressure, no rush. And if you don't have anything to say, it's okay." That blew me away. The father reassuring the boy that it's okay, just breathe. And then the next question was what they tell their fathers, what they think dad could do better, what they want dad to do better with them. And you would see the fathers reassuring the children, to say, "It's okay, I am listening." And how the room went quiet and the boys were just pouring out how they were feeling, what they feel to their fathers. That for me was another thing that got me really, really excited, because it's one thing for us, for children to listen to us, take instructions from us, but another thing for us to let them see and know that we're listening to them. And then down the line, when the fathers needed to respond, I was eavesdropping, right? And I heard a father say, I've got nothing to say other than thank you for being open to me. I am sorry and I will do better. How can I do better? And I thought to myself, you were meant, the boy has told you, and now it's for you to respond. But you're not eager to respond. You're not, eager or quick to make excuses. But what you're doing is telling the boy, speak on, son. Even though I know it's my turn to talk, I'm happy for you to speak on, and I am listening to you because I want to learn, because I want to do better. Isn't that just amazing? Look at me still smiling. It was such a beautiful sight. Another thing that I noticed in the room that got me, to wonder and just celebrate fathers who are intentional is the dressing. Oh gosh, like most of the men came in dressed like their sons. They dressed alike. The ones that wore their heritage native, they came in the same color. A family walked in all white. And as they walked in, I was just smiling and looking at them. Another family walked in dressed in agbada and cap. Agbada is a Yoruba men's traditional wear, and their hat. They dressed in, you know, exactly like their son. They came in dressed alike and co, like we call it in Nigeria, Yoruba, right? They came in that way and they left that way. And guess what? There was another family that all came in tracksuits. Because this year, normally what we normally do is say black tie dinner, right? But this year we left it open. Dress the way you're comfortable, dress your heritage or how you're comfortable with your children. And people just were creative. Some people still came in black tie, some people came in native, some people came in tracksuits with the children, matching colors. Isn't that amazing? And then, the boys, you could see the pride written all over their faces. Now, another thing that I want to talk about today from Saturday about intentionality is what I noticed in the room, that irrespective of the age of your son, dad, your son loves to spend time with you. Your son loves to be around you, and your son loves for you to be intentional and present in your relationship with him. The boys, they were beaming with pride. The boys you could see excitement, you could see confidence in the room just because they were there with dad. Now, we had a couple of women in the room as well that came to help, that came to assist some, and then, some people, because of childcare, kind of feel, okay, it's fine, let your daughter come in with you, right? But again, there was one when they said fathers should, the moments for fathers and sons to talk, right? Or for the boys to listen to, fathers to listen to their son. A boy was shying away, and guess what? The mom got up, went to encourage the boy and said, you know what? Go and sit next to your dad. Go and sit on your dad's lap. Because this boy was, I think, about 8, 9, 10. Go and sit with your dad and talk with your dad. And the boy got up and went to talk with dad. And what that means to me is, well done to mothers who are being intentional to making sure that the relationship between the husbands or their co-parents and their sons is okay. Who are intentionally or are okay, who are intentionally building these relationships. I celebrate you. I see you, because some of you were represented in the room on Saturday, including me. Yes. So I take my flowers for that, right? Okay, now moving on very quickly to my last point from Saturday is the award presentation moments. Oh my God, guys, no wonder God says, God, what the Bible says, when you celebrate and praise God, that He gets up, He rises up to our case. On Saturday, the glow on the faces of the fathers, particularly when they're called forward for their award, the glow on their faces made me realize that, see, every father deserves to be celebrated. And I remember when I was giving my speech, opening speech, one of the things I said was that one of the things I did was to celebrate fathers who know and are aware that they're getting it right. Fathers who are making the effort. Fathers who are sitting down in the silent corner and taking it in, taking their home in and praying for their homes, their children, while they're trying to get it right. And then fathers who, even though they're making the efforts, the society is not helping them. I told a story about a book I read so many years ago when I discovered that I was having sons, and where the man was talking about how he went to the wife was having the baby, and unfortunately after having the baby, she had serious complications, so the baby had to be put in the nursery, right? And then when the father went in and said they had agreed that after birth, if anything happens, the baby will be in the same room with the mom and himself, because that was their first child, while he will be there to take care of mom and the baby in the same room. But guess what? The nursery refused because they said, oh, their policy is if mom is not okay, they have to take care of the baby, not dad. But we complain, we want men to stand up and be fathers, but do we give them the opportunity to be? I don't know if any of you have seen the movie Fatherhood, where this man, his wife died, and then he took up the responsibility to take care of his daughter by himself. He struggled, but he was ready to wing it until he gets it, right? He was ready to wing it until he wins it. But yeah, he struggled. And one of the things that happened in that whatever was he 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 went into he was looking for help, and he went to a community place where he took his baby with him, and on the door was written new parents. As soon as he walked into the room with the baby that was crying in his arms, the mothers in the room said, oh, I think you are in the wrong room. And he said, no, I'm not in the wrong room. On the door is written new parents, not new mothers, and I'm a new parent. So when you say parents' evening, sometimes and we find out that we have to state that fathers come to parents' evening. And you wonder why? Could it be because the society has somehow drawn the line between who parents is and is not? Could it be that we have indirectly caught fathers and mothers as parents? Could it be that we need to change and review and change the definition of who a parent is and make parenting an inclusive thing for fathers to be a part of it? So, I'm going to round up here by saying that mamas, if for any reason society, and this when I say society, I'm talking about you and I, teachers, pastors, carers, is it time to review your definition of parents and allow the fathers to parent their children? Because I always say, if one person is meant to be the parent, then we will need both to bring a child forth. We need something from the man and the woman to make a child. And that means both of us have the liability, both of us should be given the opportunity to parent the child. So next time when you hear the word parent, don't just think about the mother, think about the father as well. There's something else that comes to mind. Maybe today is not the day to talk about it, and that's for grieving parents. When when parents are grieving, who do you pay attention to? I'll leave that as Selah today, and we will come back to that topic another day on how we can support both parents when some unfortunate things happen in the house. And this could be when a child misbehaves, it's not just the mother's responsibility or that's your child. No, there's so many things to unpack around co-parenting, parenting together. But I will leave it here today that when we hear the word parents, we're talking about the father and the mother because the two come together to make the child. God bless you, and thank you so much for everyone who took part one way or the other in celebrating fathers and sons the 10th year this year. God bless you. If you've ever been a part of it, or you were a part of it, or you're looking forward to being a part of it, and you're looking forward to the Nigerian edition, thank you, and we will see you again. God bless you and have a fabulous weekend.